knows how to throw a party, obviously. What I'm trying to figure, are you guys all waiting for the basketball game? Settle down, y'all. Settle down. All right, settle down. Let's settle down. You guys are too fired up. Let me begin. I want to acknowledge some young people who put this together. This is a remarkable achievement and a remarkable event that speaks to, I think, what's possible when young people put their mind to something. Now, a couple of people in particular I want to acknowledge. Where's Meredith Siegel, Executive Director, Students for Barack Obama? Where is she? Is this Meredith? Come here, Meredith. This is Meredith Siegel. Wait. Tobin Van Orston, Deputy Director. We've got Farouk Arekbey, who started Barack Obama 1 million strong. Where's Farouk? These three young people took it upon themselves to start building an organization before I even had declared that I was interested in running for president. It's a testimony to all three of them. Of course, Farouk, you know, I understand why he did it, because his name is hard to pronounce like mine. So you know, I'm sort of laying the groundwork for him. I understand that. Tobin and Meredith, those, you know, I don't know what your excuse is, but I am so grateful. Give them a huge round of applause, everybody. So listen, in low-income neighborhoods on the far south side of Chicago, in the house, and communities that have been devastated by steel plants that had closed. And I was your age. I had been active on campus at the time. One of the major issues was the anti-apartheid movement. When students all across the country mobilized to make sure that presidents and trustees of major universities divested from South Africa and helped put pressure on the apartheid regime. And so I've been active in that. And I decided I wanted to be a community organizer. I didn't know exactly what it meant, but there were a group of churches that agreed to hire me for $13,000 a year, plus car expenses, to work with them to try to deal with communities that were decaying. Steel plants had closed, people had been laid off their jobs, there had been racial transition in some of these communities, and so I went out there not knowing anybody to work with ordinary folks, teachers and school bus drivers and janitors and secretaries, to see what could be done to rebuild these communities. We set up job training programs, and we set up after-school programs for kids. We helped to clean up vacant lots and put playgrounds on them and deal with environmental issues in the community. And after I went back to law school and came back, people remembered my community involvement, so they asked me if I'd be interested in running for the state senate. A seat had opened up in the neighborhood where I lived. And I did what every wise man does when confronted with such a decision. I prayed on it, and I asked my wife. And that's right. And my wife said, well, if this is something you want to do, you can try it out. So then I did what every first-time candidate does. If any of you ever decide you're going to run for office, basically you go around and you talk to anybody who will listen to you. And so I went to beauty shops and barber shops and PTA meetings, and if there were two guys standing on a corner, I'd pull up and start handing them literature. And everywhere I went, I'd get the same two questions. First question, where'd you get that funny name Barack Obama? Except people didn't always say it right. And they call me Alabama. Or they call me Yo Mama. And I'd have to explain, no, it's Obama. My father was from Kenya, from Africa. We got some Africans in the house. My mother was from Kansas. Kansas, anyone? Kansas, that's where I got my accent from. But the other thing people asked me, they said, you know, you seem like a nice young person. You know, you've got a fancy law degree, you teach at the University of Chicago Law School, you practicing civil rights law, beautiful family, wonderful kids. Why would you want to go into something dirty and nasty like politics? Why would you want to go into politics? And the question's understandable because at some level, even those of us who are active in politics feel a certain cynicism about the political process. You know, we open up the newspapers or we turn on the television set and it seems as if everywhere we go, politics is a business and not a mission. And the power is always trumping principle. And you've got a lot of self-appointed leaders who are long on rhetoric, but short on follow-through. And so people feel discouraged. And they feel cynical. And maybe they go and vote every 2 years or 4 years, but they don't really have confidence that government is going to make a difference in their lives. In fact, they hope the government doesn't know harm. And nobody's more cynical about politics and government than young people, because they've grown up in the midst of a politics that is all about slash and burn, nastiness and negative ads, and name calling, and gridlock. And so you guys don't have much of a memory of the possibilities of a politics that transcends and brings people together. But here's what I told people when I first ran for office, and it's something that I still say today. And that is that there's always been a running thread in American history of a different kind of politics. A politics that's based on a very simple idea that we are all connected as a people. That we all have a stake in each other. That we have mutual responsibilities for each other. That I am my brother's keeper, and I am my sister's keeper. And yes, we value our individual liberty, and we love our individualism and the lack of conformity that's allowed in this culture, but what we've also always valued is a sense of community, and a belief that if, in the words of Dr. King, if there's an injustice anywhere, then it's a threat to justice everywhere.